as a scholar dealing with, well, like when I came to Tacoma, which is a glowing military fraternity school, the philosophy professor made it a point to show this ancient duel. I mean, it looked like a fair fight, but one of the guys was outmatched and didn't want to go into it. But it looked like a fair fight. I mean, when I came to, glowering moral cesspool, you think as a scholar you have some simple explanation for what went wrong. Well, there is a simple explanation. Harcourt said in 1984 the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, and she claimed they banded it with Shulman. They grubbied the script with Fox Media Networking, who lived in my house. So that pinned the tail on the donkey, and Lapham was laughing about it. They knew that if in 1984 they had told me that Gail Burson was involved, according to their storyline, in the murder of John Lennon, I would have immediately demanded to go in 60 Minutes and said, tell everybody that we found the script. They may have been right and get the federal marshals here. Put a stop to this monkey business. We got to warn people so they don't put themselves at risk. Information and education is where I stood. I was a medical library clerk. The entertainment system pulled a fast one. And the loyalty in the minds, you see, Kennedy was gobbled out. And my father was gobbled out. These people believed in public education and mass media use for education and openness. They didn't have to make up a funny word like glasnost. They believed in accountability, and you see what I'm saying? Public education meant something to them. They were not entertainers. They were not telling this big fib about Houdini Lennon and the South Path Frenzy from the puppet show of the Spiders from Mars. They weren't Bezzoidos saying one size fits all. It doesn't matter how it spreads. We're still going in the same groove. And the money, hands off the money, Ripper murdering girls for penis caviar and this sort of weird stuff that Seattle pulls. And the brainwashing, if you want to call it, scrub-a-dub-dub, whatever you want to call it, entertainment took control. I mean, I every minute of it, it's like working extremely hard under adversarial conditions and getting nowhere. Havel understood that. He said, you may not succeed, but you will guarantee not to succeed if you didn't try. I did try. And I was subverted by weird ideas from the, margins. But central to this conspiracy is the idea that Marlon Brando was one of the people who was probably involved in the whole script. So you're on the waterfront. You have to go out and promote in an environment where people say, "Oh, we don't believe it. It's entertainment. We were on nickel and dime to sell the land caper." Yeah. So these people have already blown it. They get a grant and extension to pull COVID-19. They've already blown it as regards to what might have been possible if they had alerted me and asked me to please help them explain what took place. Instead, they've been trying to grind out what happened, lying about every single, just fibbing this great Houdini Lennon fib. Okay, and those are the grindstones. Like Greta Thunberg says, there's more important things now. We have to save the planet. And people in Pittsburgh say, look, we have to talk to these people. We're on the waterfront with the people who do this. The Trumpy tunes like say, you want to tell me my face, I'll knock you down, motherfucker. And absolutely nobody wants to look at the evidence. Nobody wants to look at the evidence. It's I have explained everything. That's all I'm going to do. And you're letting the people who are most um, dangerous. Tell this macabre little boop boop blow song and sabotage story. Shannon Harp, she was a chapter. 911, that was a chapter. So ask why I want. Do I want to go down to the waterfront? No, really. I mean, everybody knows where I live. It's not what I'm allowed to do. I'm not shopping for a bra. But what I really would like is for someone to get a really good grip on that brutal baseline mayhem blow repost Peter Gabriel. Put a moratorium on his mind boggling BS towards me. Because he has done nothing but lie and he has done nothing but harm. People who do not agree that we should have ignored public safety by lying about what was being planned should look at the evidence and ask the Attorney General, why don't you prosecute this? Ask them. It's not on the waterfront. I didn't say go out with a crowbar and meet them at their car. But don't send these ghosts from Treblinka who tortured me as a child into my home water to on the waterfront with me. Okay? Because none of you have had the slightest idea about what I've been through. And you're accusing somebody who is not lying of lying to cover your own ass, to cover your fraud, to cover your artifice, to cover your disorder, your fabling, your tall tailing. You're lying about every piece of evidence and you think it's shrewd because you're using the power structure. Evan Nauer comes out of baseball and yells, power structure, like as though he's neat. Don't ask me some. People come over to me who think they're so wise, right? What profitable man to gain the world if he sells his soul? And they don't know what they're fucking saying. It doesn't profit a man to lose his soul, no matter he gains the world. I mean, I don't like the Christian ultimatum myth, the box that these evil idiots have built. But don't tell me to lie, you perverse, feudal fakery. We should have been more careful. David Wecht comes out on his high horse after the horrible tragedy that took place at the Tree of Life. Says we need to teach children young. Why do we need to teach children young? It's bad enough that you screaming trauma children on the streets running around screaming from fright and terror because you boiled their brains the way you boiled my brains with the stories of Auschwitz. We need to be careful of this Holocaust survivors. If they're going to pull this kind of dirty business, we need to be careful. If Noam Chomsky is truly in cahoots with Gail Burstyn, it needs to get around. So people don't give him the credence, don't give him the authority, don't give him the benefit of the doubt that makes him pull something like this like it's right. None of it is right. It's stupid. And one thing I believe is true. We need to get people who are much more gifted in understanding plants and animals and climate into the forefront of our schools and stop it with the fossil fuels because those burglars, those warmongers are behind this thing. Not only have they known for 20 years, they've been working with summing up from the blue pits of Hades of child molestings in places like Pittsburgh. Flame over Africa, they call themselves. They have been doing it for 25, 30 years. So, I mean, I'm not looking to go on the waterfront, but you know where I live. I don't have weapons. I'm not shopping for a fight, but I'm a historian and I'm going to tell the truth. And that's the fact of the matter, that I have told the truth about what happened. I don't know all the answers. I can't identify all of the parties, but I sure don't buy their cock and bull story. I don't think it was right and I don't think it was justified. Okay.